Hello everyone and welcome to the Israeli. Apparently the video I uploaded before the audio stopped working after the 2.5 minute mark. I don't know why it's doing that. It's been doing it again when I try to record again. Hopefully this time it's going to work, otherwise I'll have to figure out what is going on. Okay, so again, I'm sorry that I disappeared for a while. I had some personal things to take care of and I was feeling under the weather for a while. Now I am feeling better, but I want to say that I'll make these videos only when I feel like I really have something to say. I don't want to repeat myself all the time, and only when I feel really passionate about something. So, East Jerusalem, I said what I had to say, and you can watch my other videos. And I think, again, that evictions always happen. In every country, there are evictions for different reasons, sometimes political, sometimes economic, sometimes civil, sometimes municipalities have evictions. And there are evictions in many, many countries for many, many different reasons. And I agree that in East Jerusalem, the evictions are a bit different case than the regular eviction. But still, people make too much of a big deal out of it in order to make Israel come out bad. And just remember, there are 250,000 Palestinians, Arabs living in East Jerusalem, and Israel has absolutely no plan of evicting all of them. It's not even really possible to do that. And when it comes to the settlements, I think that the settlers, I'm not complaining to the settlements. I think they're doing what they need to do, to protect their interests and advance their interests. I just don't agree with their interests, and I think the government shouldn't agree with their interests as well, because it's not in the interest of the future of the country. I think the best way forward for Israel is the two-state solution, and the government should work towards that end, as difficult as it is. And it is difficult. But again, I was taught that nothing that's really worth it is easy. Things that are really worth it, you have to work for them. And this is something that's worth working for. But today I want to talk about Ben & Jerry's, even though many talked about it. And I think this is just another one of those cases. So let's go over this really fast. Okay, so this is led by the BDS. Those of you who don't know what the BDS is an organization that is trying to hurt Israeli economically in every way possible. So it didn't work out. It's boycott, diverse, and sanction organization, and they work only against Israel. No other countries interest them. So far, they haven't really managed to hurt Israel in any real economic sense. Israel is growing because Israel produces products that the world needs, whether they like Israel or not. And the BDS also uses a lot of Israeli technology, which I think is very funny. And I'm sure that if any of them will need any medical treatment, they would use Israeli medicine and Israeli healthcare if they'll have the chance to get access to it. So they're very hypocritical, but they did succeed in the art field, like many artists and bands that wanted to come to Israel to have a show, and got messages from them and threats from them and different kind of letters from them. And I'll say about 50% withdrew and folded to the BDS and canceled their shows in Israel, but the other 50% came and had a lot of fun and really recommended other bands to come as well. So Ben & Jerry's decided to go down the path of the BDS, which I think is a mistake, because, again, the BDS is not pro-Palestinian. Like all of those groups, they are anti-Israel. Their aim is not to make Palestinians' life better, because the company that produces Ben & Jerry's in Israel and distributes Ben & Jerry's in Israel also employs Palestinians, which are now, they might lose their job. Even though I have to say that the company that produces and distributes Ben & Jerry's in Israel is an independent company that has sponsorship with Ben & Jerry's franchise. They pay every year, and they were asked to stop selling in the West Bank and in East Jerusalem for a long time by Ben & Jerry's, and they refused. They said that they're not going to do it for, well, two reasons. First, they're Israeli, and they support the country. And second, it's illegal to do that in Israel. You can't decide where to sell. You have to sell in the whole country or don't sell at all. That's more or less your two options. So they refused. So now Ben & Jerry's are probably not going to continue their license at the end of next year, I think, and they're going to look for a new way of selling Ben & Jerry's in Israel. Now, the interesting thing is with the BDS and all these companies who join hands with them, that they always do it only against Israel. not against any other country. Now, the person who leads this movement, as far as Ben & Jerry's is concerned, is this lady here, which her name is Avranda Mital. Avranda Mital. Hold on, it's going to come back, hopefully. I don't know, the computer is giving me some problems today. Okay, here we go. Anuranda Mital. She's the head of the independent managements of the Ben & Jerry's in order to advance social actions on behalf of Ben & Jerry's, social consciousness and all that stuff. She says that she sees in her role, in her job, an opportunity to give a voice to ideological fantasies. So she's advancing her ideological fantasies while working in Ben & Jerry's. And interesting, good for her. So I want to go over a few tweets that she has here, because she's been following the Israeli-Palestinian story for a long time, and she really knows a lot about it. Apparently she knows a lot about it. Now, I have to say that she is Indian. She comes from India, but apparently she has no problem selling in Kashmir area or in other conflict area that India has with other countries around it. And I have to say, I love India. I support India. I visit India. I hope for Corona to end so I can visit India again. But there is a conflict in Kashmir, and apparently this lady here, she sees that differently. It's only Israel. It's always only Israel, which has to, a red light bulb has to light up when you see this type of stuff. Okay, so let's see. This is from 2021. We don't want tax dollars funding and killing oppression of innocent Palestinians. Bill to block Biden's weapons sale to Israel. Stop selling weapons to Israel. Catastrophe continues. Nakba, 70 years. Boycott diverse sanctions, BDS. So, that's 2018. 2021, people around the world demonstrated in solidarity Sheikh Jarrah. So she knows really well the evictions and everywhere. Escalating attacks against Palestinians in Gaza. Of course, no Hamas ever mentioned. Again, the international community must act to protect Palestinians in East Jerusalem, Gaza, West Bank, and 48 Palestine from Israeli police, army, and state-sponsored lynching mobs. Interesting. Time to impose the debilitating sanctions on the Israeli state and hold it accountable. What else needs to happen? So she's very balanced. She's not one-sided at all, and she's very knowledgeable of the situation. So I have two things to say, to tell Anharda, right? Again, Nurdha. Again, Nurdha, if I'm saying your name wrong, I'm truly sorry. It's not on purpose. And again, I'm really sorry if I say it wrong. It's not on purpose. So Nurdha obviously knows a lot about the conflict. So I have two questions for her. Yeah? One question and one possible option that she can take, I think, which will be better option than the option that they're taking now as far as Ben & Jerry's as a company is concerned. So my first question to her is, since you're so knowledgeable about the conflict and everything that's happening in the area, what is your solution? We are dying to a solution. So obviously you know what to do, you know what's happening, and you want to give a voice to your ideological fantasies. So go for it and tell us, what is the solution? What is your solution? Because if stopping to sell ice cream in Israel, or Ben & Jerry's ice cream in Israel, that's going to bring peace, well, I don't really think that's going to work. I just think that's going to hurt Ben & Jerry's bottom line at the end of the day. And, well, maybe that's your job. Maybe money is not important anymore for capitalistic companies. Maybe they're not even capitalistic anymore. But I have a different solution for you, a different option. Like, seriously, not trying to be cynical or anything. Why don't you, instead of boycotting Israel and boycotting the East Jerusalem and everything, which includes the Palestinians, by the way, why don't you say that from now on, all the profits that come from the money you make in this conflict zone, you're going to invest it in a peace center or some kind of peace initiative, some kind of something positive. You're not going to profit from the ice creams in Israel or in the West Bank or East Jerusalem, wherever you want to do. I would go for the whole country, for the whole of Israel, and all of the profits are going to go into this peace place that you going to, peace center or something of the sorts, industrial peace market, or anything that you can think of. I'm sure that you can let your ideological fantasies go wild with that idea. Yeah. And then even the people who don't support you and want to criticize you, they'll have a difficult time because, you know, you're not boycotting, you're still selling, but you're not taking any money. So you are criticizing in some way, and you're putting the money in something positive. So, you know, people won't really know how to swallow that. And I think that's something that will put Ben & Jerry's on the map in a positive way, and not in this one-sided anti-Israel, quite tiring and boring kind of way, you know, supporting the BDS, which has already proven to be an anti-Semite, anti-Israel organization, which hasn't helped one Palestinian since the day it was formed. Not even one Palestinian. And if you can give me examples of how this organization helped Palestinians in any way, shape, or form, I'll be more than happy to hear. Okay, so that's my question. Give me a solution. And if you don't have a solution, maybe you should listen to my option for you. So I don't really expect to hear from her. If I will, I'll be very surprised and very happy as well. And for those of you who have watched all the way till the end, I really hope the audio works this time. I'll check it. I'll test it to make sure it does. I think this time it does. Really thank you for watching. And I'll put up more videos, I promise, when I feel that something is important. And important things happen all the time. But also, my life is a bit crazy now. Well, everybody's life is a bit crazy now. So I'm doing my best to bring out the information the way I see it. And feel free to comment below. And I'll see you in the next video. And again, thank you again for watching and supporting. Bye.